Get down.
In the heezy for sheezy.
Oh, sheezy, mama, sheezy. All right. My panel here is brought you guys here today because we have a conflict. It's been an ongoing conflict, but it's dealing with North Korea. Dealing with 3 generations. You had Kim Jong-il, which was the president right after the Korean War, and then his son, which is Kim Jong-il, and now we have his son, which is the grandson, Kim Jong-un. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Kim Jong, did I say that right? Kim Jong-un of Pyongyang, the capital of Pyongyang. Let's go back to the Carter administration. Basically, Kim Jong-il wanted to sign a pact with North America, and it was a peace agreement. He was going to sign with Jimmy Carter, but then he had suddenly got a heart attack. And so when Kim Jong-il succeeded him, the so-called elites didn't want to go through with the program. So then years down the line, here comes Clinton. Clinton works out a deal with Kim Jong-il. And so they worked out an agreement as far as if you guys calm down on the nuclear weapons, I'm just giving you the street terms, we will give you guys, I guess, supplies, aid, whatever, whatnot, right, aid. And so, lo and behold, here comes Bush Jr. He comes in office, he scraps the whole deal. So Kim Jong-il said, okay, we're gonna crank up those weapons again. So now here we are, new administration, Barack Obama. They have a new administration, Kim Jong-un. Sorry, Kim Jong-un. And then recently we had Dennis Rodman go over there and talk to him. And Dennis Rodman said, well, Barack Obama, Kim Jong-un just said, just call him. So, Gideon, what seems to be the issue here? Why can't Barack Obama just call Kim Jong-un, they work out somewhere, they lift those embargoes? You know, what's the problem?
You know, it's interesting when you talk, because you did some history and you went back, and that's really the most important thing, how things began. And when we look at North Korea, obviously South Korea is the prototype for what America would like North Korea to be.
Right.
Because they've gone in, they've set up their shops, they've gotten a number of their corporate interests in that region.
Right.
And if you remember, we had a member that of your internet team that saw the Hero Ya show on your internet website, and he came from South Korea to be on this, on the other program that I produced. So I think what we're looking at, first of all, 2 things. If you reminiscent of Iraq War, there was misinformation given through Colin Powell about weapons of mass destruction. Least we not forget. So America has the propensity, and they have a history of giving out misinformation on nations that they want to attack. So whether capitalism needs an enemy, whether it's the Russians, whether it's the Arabs, whoever, whether it's some Hebrew Israelites or some mysterious group they call Al-Qaeda.
The radical right-wing Christians.
That they create. So I think that when we look at this saber rattling with North Korea, it's reflective of the devil that they've created in their own mind so that America can rally around the idea of war. And but it's very interesting that when you talked about Rodman being allowed to come to the king's palace, right off the, I mean, obviously Beyonce and Jay-Z, they went to Cuba, and here you had Rodman going to North Korea, a nuclear powerhouse in a region that the U.S. does not control. So in my mind, I think it has a lot to do with the international influence that we as a people have, but never have been able to parlay, being restricted by white supremacy. On the other hand, America is using this nation, as it does others, to manufacture enemies so that when it strikes, whether it's a nuclear strike or continue to be saber rattling, they'll have the populace behind them because they created this image of a bad guy in the image of Jong-un.
Kim
Well,
Jong-un.
Kim
Jong-un.
Jong-un.
I have to write that
But
down.
yes, they have money and they have nuclear power, so they are to be watched by this country.
Tiffany, you know, you have two countries here. You know, the bad reputation they have on North Korea is that they're starving their people. But yeah, we're the ones putting embargoes on them to starve the people out. I mean, what I'm trying to understand is why put an embargo on the people and then accuse that country of starving their people out.
You know what? That's a good question. Wow.
I mean, it's like I create the problem and then I come to solve the problem that I created. Is that?
I mean, you know what? That one right there. That's kind of tough. I really don't know how to explain that. To me, that
Trickery?
it is very trickery. Yeah, it really, it'll really make a
Three-card shuffle?
Yes, right. It's like 1 minute I support you and then I'm against you at the same time. Like, which one? It's like, which one is it? Is it, are you gonna support the people in that country or are you really going against the people? It's like a little contradiction there.
I mean, but I feel like, I think every sovereign nation has a right to protect itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. And so you got the United States, we have nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ain't
so,
afraid to use them.
Okay, tell me about it. Okay.
Right, we use them. Hiroshima,
Okay.
Nagasaki, right. So we're not afraid to use them, but the thing is, I've done the research on North Korea, and it's like they want to be compensated for whatever weapons because America was saying, "Oh, you guys are selling weapons to Iran," and just having a fit about it. But the thing is, if you putting an embargo on these people, what other way can they feed their people? I mean, let them trade weapons, and if you don't want them to trade weapons, compensate them. You understand what I'm saying? So if I don't want you to sell weapons to give me, that means I need to give you money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pam, you shaking your head. You don't agree with that?
No, but I'm not going to comment on that particular question. That was her question. I have something.
No, you shaking
Well,
your
first
head.
of all, you really have to ask yourself, when she said, am I in support of you or am I not in support of you?
Well, because
It's like a boyfriend. You do what I say, you get what I want. When you don't do what I say, you don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have to ask ourselves this real question.
Okay.
Is North Korea, like Gideon said, we sometimes produce who the enemy is? We have to ask ourselves this question. Is North Korea an imminent threat or are they a false flag for the New World Order? See,
Right. I'm glad you brought that up because I've asked the question, because people have questioned whether Barack Obama is really in charge or is there a hidden force in charge. And that same question can go to Kim Jong-un. Is he really in charge or is military really in
Okay.
charge?
as I was saying, are they really a threat or are they a false flag for the New World Order?
Okay.
So, as Gideon said, the whole thing started out when they were talking about we have weapons of mass destruction, just the same way when they said Saddam Hussein, and we go after Osama bin Laden, and then you notice all of a sudden these dictators disappear.
Exactly.
This could be a form of where this young dictator will soon
Can I say something
disappear.
quick? They only disappear when they shake hands with Obama. But go ahead.
Not necessarily. Stop it. That was
The
just
shake of death.
I got the proof. He shook hands with Chavez.
Yeah.
Chavez is gone.
Yeah.
Shook hands with Gaddafi. Gaddafi's gone.
well.
Kind of like that old game, give me 5, up high, down low too slow. So Kim Jong-un's like too slow.
Well, as I remember, I heard somewhere one time ago, since we're talking about war, I heard one, you probably heard this before. My mother used to tell me this. She said, we shall hear of wars
and
and rumors of wars.
Oh man, you gonna give me
No,
a
no,
Bible
no.
lesson?
Listen. We shall hear of war. This is real talk.
Right.
We shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. But be not troubled because these things has to come.
Right.
Okay, but
Again,
Pam,
not yet.
what I'm
Wait,
trying to,
let
I'm
me
trying to,
finish
hold
what I
on,
got
hold
to
on.
say,
What I'm
because
trying to
I'll
get
make
to,
a
hold
point here.
on. What I'm trying to get to is what do
I said a Bible
North
scripture he
Korea
got out of whack.
want?
Right.
And can we solve that problem? I'm not here for Bible scriptures. I'm going to
See-
simply have a normal conversation. How can we resolve this issue?
Here's the
Those people are
problem.
starving.
That's
So
not
do we
what the
lift
problem
embargoes?
is. That is not what the
Okay,
problem
well,
is.
okay.
Starvation has never been the problem.
Well, that means that not from what I hear. They hear that
The
they're
problem
starving
right
over here.
now with North Korea is talking about the missiles and the weapons of mass destruction. They're not talking about starvation.
Right.
The problem with North Korea is the fear of the nuclear program. We're not talking about starvation. So if we want to talk about North Korea in the current, since we have to go there, because you cut me off, but you did not cut off Gideon nor her, because I threw in a Bible scripture, which we're talking about war. So once again, like I was saying, even our vice president got on television the other day and he was talking about the new world order.
Right.
You have to understand, when you put world global fear in people and talk about a war, a nuclear war, this is another way to bring in your form of the new world order. So basically, you have to ask yourself the real true question. Are they an enemy? Are they a part of the game that we must play to bring about our government, one world government? That's why she even said, do we support you today? We don't support you today.
Good point.
So I'm gonna stop right there because there's more to say, but I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay, now,
Well, I wanted to, because in reference to the question you asked, can we solve the problem? And obviously, if it's manufactured,
Right.
then the problem can't be solved because it's manufactured from the beginning.
Right.
But if it's a real problem, then does North Korea want the GMO modified foods to
That's-
come into their country anyway?
That's a
Because
good
here you
question.
have an ancient nation that predates America by what, 1,000 years or so, but yet now all of a sudden they can't feed themselves.
Right.
And this is the reoccurring lie we get from European nations, that indigenous nations that predate America by thousands of years all of a sudden have forgotten how to feed
but
themselves.
Gideon, are we looking at a bigger threat as far as, I mean, I know we discussed the nuclear arms, but
Yes.
if you look at China,
Yes.
you look at South Korea, you look at Japan, I'm just going to say they are superior in technology.
Absolutely.
So do they fear that Korea will jump in the game and have superior technology, or would they want to control that, like we talk about white supremacy
Yes.
at the end of the day?
Yes.
Because if they allow, let's just say, we're going to lift these embargoes, we're going to be at peace with North Korea. Well, now North Korea could take us out technologically.
Exactly.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Hold on. So what's your take on that, Gideon?
Well, absolutely. Obviously, when we look at the convenience of the computer system, it is convenient control.
Right.
And even though the most secure computer system can be hacked.
That's
So
true.
when we look at the evidence of technological advancement, certainly the Asian countries stand far and ahead of the American technology, where we used to laugh at these technologies during my generation even, and I'm 57, so we're talking...
So what better way than the military conquer them? And then that way they do is, as we say, you know what, we in control now. Instead of being peaceful and then they wipe us out with what they build as far as the technology, as far as their hackers, as far as their educational system.
Well, see, the embargo that they have on South Korea or North Korea is the same embargo they have on Haiti. Haiti is would have been a vibrant community had they been able to foster their own trade routes and deal with the indigenous people that were connected to them. Just like us, we are cut off. They have embargoes on our ability to use commerce with other nations unless it's through their network. So once again, and as Pam stated, we have to realize that when we're talking about the New World Order, it is designed through fear. Fear is the key of getting people in the particular mindset, for lack of a better word, that no matter what the government brings in, like in Detroit, a new emergency manager, despite what the people voted for, they now have somebody who directs, all of his directions come from the oligarchy, not the people. So that's what's being set up as they, North Korea has been saber rattling with America for many years, but now they're talking the nuclear component. That is what bringing fear to the populace, and that's what they want.
Can I
Okay.
say something?
Sure.
You have to ask yourself once again, is this a staged war? You have
Okay.
war of words, threats, and then just like John Kerry said, you can eliminate these threats or we can negotiate. Either way it goes, we are going to defend our allies. So it's up to him. Do you want to see?
Okay, but let me ask you a question real quick, Pam. When Dennis Rodman went over there, he talked to Kim Jong-un just like me and you sitting right by each other.
Right.
Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un sat by each other, and Dennis Rodman came back and said, because nobody, no reporter, no politician, nobody talked to Kim Jong-un face to face, and Dennis Rodman got on the TV and said, Barack Obama. Kim Jong-un said, call him.
It's like a threat, man. Call me or else. Call me. If you call me, I'll lift these arms. Barack Obama don't roll like that.
Well, see, I don't get that.
I don't even
get
roll
that.
like that. Is a threat. It's a nice threat.
How is that a threat?
It's a nice threat. We didn't even go there right now.
No, explain that, because I don't get that.
It's
I don't
almost
get
as a
that.
form of negotiation. Look, man, if you call me, I'll play your game. And then they're gonna come through Barack Obama. I mean, gonna come through Dennis Rodman. Why come?
Dennis Rodman sat
why
down
come
with him.
the king himself didn't say, "Call me, man. We can talk about it." Why use Dennis Rodman? Come on. That's
Tiffany,
we're not gonna go there.
Tiffany, Dennis Rodman sat down with Kim Jong-un. He relayed a direct message. What is the problem?
Okay, I can kind of understand where she's coming from. Because,
Break it down to me,
Because, like she said, it could be a possible threat behind that. You know.
So is that an interpretation?
It could be because you don't. You know.
So you're not 100% sure, right? Because I
You're
didn't
not
get a threat out of that.
Because I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I mean, you don't know if the man wanted to really make peace with President Obama and say, look, you know, we don't want to do this or whatever, or is he really trying to be subliminal, trying to play a game with him?
So Tiffany, why not just call him and talk to him? Because apparently the man speaks English. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
yeah, the man speaks English or whatever, but still, you know, I mean, that it's like you're, like she said, it's like somebody, you know, you don't get along with, you haven't spoke to in a long time, whatever, or you and this person done had beef for a very long time, and all of a sudden somebody come across with this individual and say, well, hey, tell so-and-so, tell Tiffany call me.
Right.
All right, and then that person come back and say, hey, so-and-so said call them. And you like, wait a minute, hold on. All this time, I never seen this person. I haven't spoke to this person in a long time. Wait a minute, we've been beefing all this time. Now all of a sudden this person want me to call them. I want to know what is the reason. Why do they want, this individual wants me to call them? What is the purpose? I mean, that's going to be the first thing in my mind. Well, why? Why should I call? Why should I call this person?
Tiffany,
What's going on?
But you have two fresh faces here.
Okay.
Barack Obama, Kim Jong-un.
Okay,
These are
but
two fresh faces because the last administration was Kim Jong-il and let's just say Clinton. Well, actually, no. George Bush was the last. Now, you know that was not a good dialogue there because he's like, no, we not dealing. Whatever you and Clinton have worked out.
That's how they looking at it. That's how the U.S. looking at it because, like, just like they don't really deal with Cuba, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't really deal with North Korea, being that it's a communist country.
Right.
And this country considered as a threat to the U.S.
Much like the Russia.
Right. So it's
And
like,
communists.
and then, right, the politicians have, I mean, Dennis Rodman was like one of the first Americans to actually go over there and sit down and talk to the leader. No politicians have been over there since since World War II?
Since Jimmy Carter. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. You know what, Tiffany?
Since
the
when?
last time we had a politician go over there was Bill Clinton, because you had two South Korean girls try to go into that country, and they arrested them and sentenced them to 20 years hard labor.
Okay.
And you know what Kim Jong-il said to President Clinton? Call me. And he called them and he set them free. What's the problem?
Let me just.
Okay. Oh, we got a caller too. Gideon, let me get this call.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Caller. Okay, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Peace and blessing.
Sundown, what's going on?
Now, y'all forgetting about the thing. This thing is about China.
That's right.
Now, America done put wash battleships over there. They done put all kind of hardware over there. This thing is about China. Now, let's go back to when George Bush Jr. called North Korea the axle of evil.
That's right.
Now, y'all forgetting. They remember the Tom Kim Gulf when Lyndon Johnson was president
That's right.
and a lie was told and then Vietnam War started?
Yep.
But this thing is about China. China got most of our debt. North Korea cannot function unless China back her.
Ooh.
That's where North Korea get all of her supplies, all of her food, and different medicines and stuff from China. So this thing is about China. But what America really don't want, America don't want nations that don't agree with her have weapons of mass destruction.
Understood.
Look what happened to Gaddafi. Gaddafi let her in. Where is he now?
Yep.
Where is he now?
He in the grave.
Now, this is my last point. They were arguing about Beyonce and Jay-Z going to Cuba on vacation.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
White folks up in arms. Now some brothers and some white sisters came out and defended Jay-Z and Beyonce and said, business white men go to China all the time.
That's right.
Why is Cuba, and she's 90 miles from Miami, being ostracized? Why Jay-Z and Beyonce can't go there on vacation? Business white men go to China.
Yep.
So, you know, this is all about domination and who gonna rule who. Peace. Assalamu alaikum, shalom.
Right.
You know, in
That's
reference to
sundown, right.
what my sister was saying about a threat, in my estimation, the threat is that here you have a young prince in Dennis Rodman going to a sovereign king, gaining access to the palace and a face-to-face conversation, and rather than going through the diplomatic protocol
Red tape. and-
to the white man's system, he called the president and said, all this king wants is you to call him. Well, the threat is here, if he would actually have called him, he said, wait a minute, you let this nigga go in and negotiate a deal with people that we hate, we will take you out of here. So the threat simply is to give our people, as I was saying a little earlier, and Elder Sundown reflected on, the ability to create deals where we look like we have some power influence. Certainly now, the other component is Kim Jong-un's a love of basketball.
That's right.
President,
And hip-hop.
and hip hop, and of course the
Okay.
president is a lover of basketball and a basketball player. So there are elements of our culture that just reflect unity, but because we're operating through the white man's prism of insight and overstanding, then if we don't go through him, they don't want to hear it.
Well, you know, Gideon, when I see Barack
Therein
Obama,
lies the threat.
Right, I see a man. When I see Kim Jong-un, I'm gonna see a man.
Right.
You know, when you get all these other people now, Tiffany made a good point. If I get so and so to say something, I like to just talk to people direct.
Yeah, direct.
If I have a problem with anything that you say, I'm gonna talk to you, Gideon. I'm gonna talk to you, Tiffany. Talk to you, Pam. I'm not gonna have my lawyers, and I know that's the way
Well, you a
people
king.
do things, right?
Well, you a king.
I know, but I know it's a king. But at the end of the day, I mean, he didn't need nobody to shake Chavez's hand when he shook Chavez's hand.
Well, President
and, you know,
Obama is the corporate head of America, Inc. He works for the corporation heads and the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the
But you know
wealthy
what?
elitists, the oligarchy.
But get it, and this is the back of what Pam was saying. You can make that same argument and say that the elites of North Korea are in charge of Kim Jong-un, and if he steps out of Kim Jong-un, if he steps out of line, he'll be taken out because they serve the purpose of New World Order, supposedly.
Well, I would agree
and,
that,
you know, and then
I would
Sundown
agree.
mentioned, right, some elite, you know, China got some elites.
Well,
you know,
communism is run by the elite, but
Right.
they at least spread the wealth among the populace, as it was stated in the Communist Manifesto.
Right.
Capitalism is run by the elite, but it doesn't. The trickle-down economics that George Bush Jr. talked about ain't trickled down to our community. So when you see powerful individuals like Jay-Z and Beyonce, and this is charismatic power. This is not real power. They don't run any military. They don't run any type of governmental. They
Right.
just have charismatic power, like in Minister Farrakhan. These men have charismatic power.
Right.
And even Rodman, his power and influence is charismatic based on his athletic, which he's an entertainer. But if you take that charisma and put it behind a nation of people who have a military and an unction to support that agenda of their nation, then you've got a powerful force to be reckoned with. And America ain't gonna allow that.
Well, Tim, you got a similar situation, and I mean, I'm glad they brought up Beyonce and Jay-Z. You know, you have two communist countries, whether it be North Korea or Cuba, and, you know, and Jay-Z, you know, they had their anniversary, so, you know, they went over there. You know, they didn't go through the red tape, and so now people are up in arms about that. I mean, what's your take on that? Why were they so upset? Jay-Z and Beyonce went over there. I mean, it's just...
You know what? Who is the leader? What's the leader's name over there?
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro, yeah. Because so
It's
many.
his brother now.
Oh, Raul Castro. Yeah, well, Raul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause Fidel is out.
Okay, well, Raul Castro, yeah.
Okay, well, because the United States that had problems with the Castro family,
Right.
and at one point in time, they did their trades with Cuba.
Exactly.
They did all that with Cuba, but for whatever reason, I don't remember which president it was who had a disagreement with
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Okay, Lyndon B. Johnson. He had a disagreement with Fidel Castro.
Yeah,
Right.
at that
Yeah,
time.
at that time, yeah, he had a disagreement with him, and so that's when.
Oh, I take it back. Actually, Kennedy. Was that Lyndon B. Johnson or Kennedy? Kennedy, I'm sorry. Kennedy.
It was
Right.
Kennedy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, who was killed?
Right.
Now
Bay
this
of
brother.
Pigs.
That's right.
Yeah, this brother. Yeah, Kennedy, who was killed, who was the one that talked about the New World Order. But anyhow, let me get back to my point.
Okay.
You know, ever since he had that fallout with Fidel Castro, you know, they just cut all ties with Cuba as far as, you know, people traveling over there overseas. And then, you know, you don't hear so much about people going over to Cuba for anything. And although one of our leaders, you know, our black leaders that's over there now, which she was a part
Sarah
of,
Shakur.
Sarah Shakur, she's over there right now.
That's right.
So, I mean, they felt like, well, because United States is not supposed to be over there with Cuba, not supposed to have no type of form of allies with them or some type of, you know.
So, Tip, basically what you're saying is that if you go to Cuba, because there are people going to Cuba, because they have
Right.
a doctor's program where I think Mukasa's nephew's over there right now, where you can be a doctor and won't have no financial aid.
Right.
It's
Okay.
free.
Free
But
education.
the point I'm digressing, the point that I'm making is that you need America to hold your hands to go over there.
Exactly.
And so I guess there's
Right,
reason why
but-
they're, right, go ahead.
Right, in other words, I guess because it's considered illegal to go over there.
Without permission, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, my intake on that is, okay, well, I'm quite sure they probably got through there in a private jet or something to Cuba. I'm quite sure. But my intake is, well, how can it be illegal to go over to Cuba if you got some people from Cuba that stays over in America?
Okay.
You know, because I have worked with a guy at one point in time. He was from Cuba
Right.
originally, but he had came over here and stayed in the
They're
States.
one of the, what they call them, actually those people that come over here, most of them, they were against Fidel's regime. You know, they were the, I guess, considered the people that were against communism, basically.
Dissenters, is that the
Go
word
ahead.
you're looking for?
Go ahead.
Are you looking for dissenters? I'm just trying to find the word that you're looking for.
No. What I'm saying is that the people over here, most of the Cubans that you meet, it's just like the people from Venezuela. They are anti-Fidel, just like the most of the Venezuelans over here. Not saying all of them, but the majority of them are anti-Chavez, and that's why they're over here, because a lot of them are capitalists per se. They are against communism, against socialism. You know, they all for capitalism.
So that's why you're for North Korea.
I'm
Just
for North
curious.
Korea simply because those people, the man wants something, but it's not nuclear war. Let's get this caller. It's not nuclear war. They want them embargoes lifted. So yeah, I'm for lifting the embargoes that we put on those people. So those people are starving because of our government.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, caller, go ahead.
Based on the news on MSNBC, the Treasury Department gave Beyonce and Jay-Z the permit to go to Cuba. The reason they are fussing and up and on, Jay-Z and Beyonce is a very good friend of Barack Obama, and they raised a lot of money for Barack Obama. That's why they upset.
Interesting.
That's
point.
very interesting. Interesting concept. That's an interesting concept right there.
Man, we're talking about.
That makes sense.
It's called a hateration then. That's just a term we call it, haters.
Yeah. Well, let me get back, because you just addressed, you're saying that I'm for North Korea.
Let me
I'm
say
for
something
lifting
why-
embargoes on
Well, you
a
have
starving
to really
country.
understand why the
I'm a humanitarian.
embargoes and sanctions are all on North Korea. It's not only because people are starving. They've killed millions of people. If you cross over that DMZ
And have we
line-
not
if
killed millions
you
of people?
Wait. If you
Okay.
cross over that DMZ line, you're automatically dead. Period.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Okay.
Those two women that got arrested and got 20 years
Well, they-
hard labor
20
did not get killed.
Okay, well,
So
that
that is not a
20
true
years is
statement.
almost what-
That's not a true statement.
Or like maybe
You're
it's an
penalized
exaggeration.
Right, and they got taken right out of jail too.
Okay, but
so
the
yeah, they were
point-
really
the-
penalized.
The point is, why have this DMZ line, even if you look the wrong way, move the wrong way, it could be cause of a war. It's not only because of starvation. This war goes back between North Korea and South Korea many years, way before Barack got into
I
office
agree.
and his son got into office. And like we said before, you have to understand, I'm going to just stick with my main topic here that I'm going to get back to.
Wait, so let me ask you one quick question, because you believe in new. Hold on.
Because of these.
Hold on, Pam.
What?
Let me ask you a question.
What's your question?
Since you're for the New World Order and all that, Kim Jong-il, the grandfather,
Go ahead.
he suddenly, he was sitting down with Jimmy Carter. They were going to sign a peace pact. He suddenly gets a heart attack. Was that New World Order right there?
Okay, once again.
Did they take him out with a heart attack gun?
I wasn't there when he got a heart
I'm just
attack.
asking the question. You talk about New World Order.
That-
That would be your proof, right?
No, that's not. You can't just go because I might have a heart attack today and say,
No, what I'm
because
saying.
I'm sitting here speaking about the New World
But
Order.
that was before your time. Let me ask Giddy.
No, see,
Giddy.
you don't want me to
Hold
speak
on,
about
hold on, Pam, please.
Help him out.
Giddy.
Caller, help out. I need a caller out there. Help me out.
Hold on. Because, hold on. I'm trying to get down to this New World Order thing.
Right.
And so when we have the evidence right there in front of our face, the man suddenly gets a heart attack, and the CIA has admittedly said that they have a heart attack gun where they can shoot you and it won't trace.
Right.
when you present the evidence, and I'm asking you to prove your New World Order point, and I show the
You didn't cut
evidence.
me off, but I'm not going to prove it through that way. I have another way to prove it.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying, but that way is just obvious.
Well, we can't
He's
say
selling
that.
us a heart attack.
We can't say that, but I wasn't there, and I don't have the evidence of that. So why would I speak on something that I don't have the evidence of? You want me to say something that
Okay,
I
what
don't know
evidence you
about?
have?
That's what you know about. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's all on the internet,
Well,
but let's
I
see.
don't, I don't get all of my information from the internet.
Okay,
Okay.
what information?
And the
you got?
first time I even heard about the heart attack came from you.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and just repeat your words that I heard from you.
Okay, so
Right?
let me get your proof of the New World Order, because you
It's
mentioned
not
New World
about my
Order.
proof of the New World Order. I'm just trying to give you some information here.
Okay.
Okay, now let me say this once again, because I'm speaking, piggybacking only on what Gideon said about if it's a manufactured threat or if it's a manufactured war. That's all I'm talking about. Because you said you want solutions. If this is a staged war, predating way back in time from North Korea and South Korea, just imagine this for a second. North Korea and South Korea been in war of words for many years, okay? Now, if both sides decide, if South Korea, North Korea decide, I'm not gonna lift these missiles, matter of fact, I'm gonna launch one. And John Kerry done just sat there and told you, if you don't lift this, we're gonna defend all of our allies to the utmost. Now, you have both of these militaries moving in with massive men, killing thousands, hundreds of thousands of men from North Korea. Then you're going to have North Korea allies stepping in from China, all the rest of them. All of them have the same power with nuclear wars. Now, they may dominate North Korea, but when you bring it in China, and if North Korea is talking about, we're going to attack Japan first. And if this is all manufactured for the purpose of putting fear, because they don't really want a war, but the war is going to come eventually.
Okay.
So that we
Pam.
can kill all. You have to understand the big picture here.
Okay, give
It
me
ain't
one
only
second.
just about starving people. Once again, it's about power.
Give me a second here, Pam. Give me 1 second here. You know, I understand everything that you were saying. I want to give Tiffany a chance to come in here real quick. I understand about being a staged war, you know, being a false flag, but Kim Jong-il's heart attack was not a false flag. So you wanted to say something real quick, Tiffany?
Okay, now I want to get back to what you said about the New World Order.
Right.
Okay, now if you ever look behind your dollar bill, although it's not written in English, it's written in Latin.
That's right.
It will tell you New World
Right.
Order. And your president, John F. Kennedy, he was one of the first presidents to mention about the New World Order. And look what had happened to him.
That's right.
Okay. And as far as a solution for North Korea, okay, I'm hearing that they starving and all this other stuff.
Okay.
But, and then the question about, is the war a false flag, or is it, or
Right.
do they want to
War,
actually have a war with us, whatever? As far as solution goes, how can't you have a solution when you really don't even know what's going on? I mean, because half the stuff that is given to you in the media or that they present, it may sound like you said spooky, you know, bring out to terrorize people, to scare people, whatever. But then you got something else that's saying, well, no, there's something that's totally opposite from that. It's not to, there's no,
Bunch of smoke and mirrors.
well, I'm sorry?
No, what I'm saying, when they talk about weapons and false, all this
Right.
stuff, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. At the end of the day, because my thing is, the way I go and look at things is, okay, you got a country here. First thing I'm asking is, what do you want?
Right. You don't know what they want because you only watch, you going by what's on here. Okay, you going by what's on here and what's going on in television. Okay, that's what you going by. But do you really know what is going on? What North Korea really have in mind with the U.S.? No, you don't. So you really can't come up for a solution unless it's really proven that this is what's really taking place, or until that situation happen. I don't mean to say it like that, but that's what I mean. That's the way you're gonna really find out. You know, I mean, it's like the brother was saying, it's all spookism, you know, to scare people, and then again, it might not be spooky, it might be true. You just don't know. You really can't say, well, let's find a solution to this. Let's find a solution to this problem. How we gonna eliminate this problem? You can't, because you don't know. You don't know what's really going on, what's gonna take place.
All right, now let me ask this question, Gideon, because you're a military man. North Korea, and I had got this from another military man, never conceded.
Right.
You know, and they're saying most likely, in his opinion, they want North Korea to concede. And so Kim Jong-il, let's just say the capital of Pyongyang, they don't want to concede without, and this is just my opinion, without being left with the short end of the stick, per se.
Certainly.
Meaning, okay, go ahead.
Well, actually, Hawaii never conceded.
That's right.
But they're still the 50th state, or is it maybe Alaska is the 50th?
The Hebrew Israelites never conceded.
But we still in bondage.
Right.
So the reality of not succeeding does not deter tyranny and oppression. But the question you asked, what are they looking for? When we talk about America,
It's simple. What do they want?
the world economy is access to resources,
Right.
access to the world's resources, which the Europeans
So
dominate.
it boils down to capitalism and socialism, don't it? At the end of the day.
Exactly.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have guns and weapons, but at the end of the day, we want certain resources too.
Well, it's the haves
And the have-nots.
and the have-nots. The have-nots, we've got the numbers. We just don't have the
Right.
control of the resources that the haves have.
So at the end of the day, it's still power.
Power and
Control,
imperialism.
that's what power.
It's all about
Yeah,
imperialism.
you can have all the resources in the world, but if I have the power over your resources,
I will take those resources.
There
if
you
That's
I
all
want
it's
them.
about. It's
That's the
basically
power.
imperialism.
Okay, but my question, and then we did this on the last show. We talked about a form of socialism, Chavismo, where it's on record he got 50% of his country out of poverty.
Chavez.
Chavez.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with the system of
He gave back. Well, that's why they killed him. I mean, he told you. He said, if I die, Chavez and I are the same age. He said, if I die, America did it.
That's right.
And so he had cancer. And
Right.
let's go to the
Oh,
phone.
let's get a call real quick, get in. Hold that thought.
Okay, this is a comment on what I saw when I came in the house on PBS. It says the stealing of Africa. The stealing of Africa. And how the Europeans came in with the guns, with the disease, with the lies, the deceit, to get the raw materials and the minerals that the brother talking about. But it's, everybody need to check that out on PBS. The stealing of Africa. Peace.
Peace.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Okay, go ahead, get in. I'm
Well,
gonna ask
no, I
everybody
mean,
a real quick question.
He really reflected upon your program some weeks ago.
Right.
Are there smallpox in the blanket? And we know, yeah, the answer is yes, there are.
So why you still smoking that weed, get in?
Well,
Wow. Did he just put you on?
They got smallpox in it. No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
no, you're right.
Right.
Absolutely. The smallpox and the scenario and the analogy that you created has to do with our education,
Right.
our hospitalization, the type of information that we're being given. It's all designed, in a sense, with smallpox being in it the same way they did with the indigenous people.
Right.
So it was an excellent observation. These are the things that our people need to see in order to determine whose side. If you want to fight for America, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
where
only-
you were born.
Yeah, and the only reason why I say
They're just trying to kill you.
right, and the only reason why I'm on the weed thing is because Monsanto was the first. That was the first product they experimented with. Before they experimented with cows, pigs, corn, they experimented with marijuana. No fact.
Well, if I go into dementia prematurely, blame it on the weed.
No, but wait, and that's why next show we gonna do. Barack Obama passed the Monsanto Protection Act. So
Oh
if
my
you die,
goodness!
you can't sue.
Woo.
Right? You can't sue.
Now that is New World Order.
That's New World
all
Order, right.
day long. And
Right.
see, that's why when I talk to, and I know we have WAOK viewers out here, we've crossed over Comcast, WAOK, but we're talking about CBS Radio and the influence that they have over the populace and the electorate. You will support people that's trying to kill you.
That's right.
So why, whether it's Mo Ivory, Derek Bozeman, Lorraine Jock White, why are these people activists for the people that's trying to kill you?
Okay, and I
and
gotta
tell you to vote for the beatdown.
Question for everybody, but let me get this call real quick.
Black Son.
Yes.
I need to correct Black Son.
Yes.
On PBS, this past Friday night, they had a document called Drug Race. Now, in the 1800s, you could get heroin, you could get cocaine, you could get opium at will. It became an epidemic. They didn't lock nobody up. They set up treatment centers because it were white folks. Now, in the early 1900s, when the Chinese came over here through California to help with the railroad, they started taking white folks' jobs. They were smoking opium. So the government set up drug laws and started arresting the Chinese for opium. Okay, let's fast forward to the Spanish people. When the Spanish people came here and started taking the white folks' jobs, they were smoking reefer. They used laws to arrest them for reefer, marijuana. Let's fast forward to us. In the 50s, they gave us heroin. They set up laws to arrest us for heroin. They got all of this documented. I saw it on PBS Friday night. Now, let's go to the 80s when the crack epidemic. The crack epidemic, because they saw the youth with the rap. They came up with the law with the crack, 3 strikes you out. So this lie about marijuana, that's a lie. This lie about all of these drugs. When white folks were doing it, wasn't no drug laws. They had treatment centers. Peace.
Let me ask you, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to start with Tiffany, and I'm going to come around. Tiffany.
Yes.
Beyonce, Jay-Z, Dennis Rodman, they all happen to be black. Is it because they were black? I'm just going to keep it real. Is that why people are upset? I'm just going to throw out race.
I don't think it just has something to do with as far as their race goes, but I think it also has to do with their wealth. Being that because they are very popular and well known, and also that they have money to go places like this. And like you were saying about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Oh no, it was a caller that said something. Because they are so connected with President Obama and they helped supporting him and all that stuff. They were able to get a pass to go to Cuba or permit whatever. Yeah, so I don't think it has anything to really do with the race. I think it's because they are well known and their wealth. That's what I think it's more so of.
The same question.
Well, I would agree with this young lady here, and I'm glad to see a mother, our future mother, being wise in these perspectives. Yes. It is about wealth, their ability, influence, the image that they would project on our children, being international and having the independence to go to the countries that America has identified as haters of, for whatever reason, for nothing more than the fact that these people are heavily melanated and woolly haired. And that's been their design to make our children hate themselves. So even though Jay-Z and Beyonce represent in their music a type of sellout-ish because of their style and their dress, they also represent a new era of entrepreneurship that will allow our children to conquer and travel the world.
So I'm gonna ask this question, Pam. Jay-Z and Beyonce, are they the symbolism of black capitalism?
Great question.
I think Jay-Z has come a long way.
All right.
He started from being a rapper.
Drug dealer.
Drug dealer.
Drug dealer,
Drug
turned
addict.
businessman.
Okay.
How about that?
Drug dealing is business, by the way.
So drug dealers have every drug dealer out there, I want to give you hope to let you know you can stop selling drugs and become a multi-millionaire basketball world traveler. So stop selling drugs today. There is hope. Keep hope alive.
Well, wait a minute,
I'm through
hold
with
up.
that. Since y'all want to make jokes on it, I'm through with it. That's all I have to say. Keep hope alive. Every drug dealer.
So are they the symbolism of black capitalism?
That was an excellent question.
Okay, yeah,
but see,
go
black
ahead.
capitalism is just an offshoot of white capitalism, which
Pretty
is
much.
destructive,
Right.
and it has created for America itself a deficit that the world and American will never be able to fill. This economic deficit is why America's gone over the fiscal cliff several times.
Right.
It's why the dollar is being devalued. Has to do with destruction of the air, the water, the earth itself. So surely these are America's children that are trying to promote and trying to heal. America will not be healed. America is on a course for self-destruction because it has tried to destroy the very people that has helped to support and uplift and bring it to the pinnacle of intellectual, technological, mechanical, and military prominence.
But wasn't capitalism self-destructive from the beginning?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I want to say something. I want to say something about capitalism.
Yes.
This capitalism here, it's all basically about everybody competing with one another just to get to that top. Okay. And so as far as the black capitalism concerned, really, to be honest with you, there's not really a black capitalism because we're too busy trying to get into the white capitalism.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, okay.
And there's a lot more of that. So in order to get a black capitalism, you got to get into that white capitalism so you can be able to establish your own. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But,
Can I ask you a
but,
question?
oh, can I make this one last
Yeah,
statement?
make
and,
that point first.
then you can ask
Go
the
ahead,
question.
Tiffany. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I asked questions, Ryan. It was a dictatorship.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, it's a competition. It is. Everybody's trying to compete. You know, so you're gonna always have the wealthy people and then the poor people, and our people is gonna be make up the majority of those who are poor
Right.
rather than wealthy.
Tiffany, I always tell people, and the rest of people understand it, but black people have a hard time understanding. You got the rich, the poor, and working poor.
Right.
Exactly.
We're the only ones that fell for the trap, middle class.
Exactly.
Right.
Can I ask you a quick question? Symbolism for black capitalism. But this same drug dealer who turned into a businessman, aren't these the ones that those so-called people are crying about because they have now the opportunity to use their influence to go into Cuba?
Well, no,
So
I mean,
somewhere that wealth has helped them to open doors that
But
was
then
one
again,
time